Welcome to the Smart Influencer Podcast. If you're tired of chasing algorithms, second guessing your strategy, or feeling like you're doing all the things without seeing the growth you want, you're in the right place.
We're your hosts. I'm Christina,
And I'm Corinne.
and we're bloggers, business owners, systems nerds, and founders of the Smart Influencer. Between the two of us, we've built multiple six-figure brands, launched digital products, hosted live events, and coached creators who are ready to level up.
Each week, we break down what's actually working in today's creator economy, from monetization and list growth to systems, automation, and building a business that doesn't own you. Because this isn't about hustling harder.
It's about building smarter. Let's get into it.
Welcome to the Smart Influencer Podcast. Today, Corinne and I are going to be tackling a topic that we've heard some rumblings about. We hear it in all of the whispered conversations and, in the one-on-ones that we've had with different people. But the real reason why some bloggers are growing faster than you. And spoiler alert, it's not what you think. According to us, it's not. But I think we've all had those moments, right? Where you look out and you see another blogger and you thought, how are they growing so fast when it looks effortless?
Right.
And I feel like
Doing all the same things.
Yeah, I'm
in
doing
all the same places, working just as much or working less.
Yeah. And I'm hustling and I'm stressed and I'm nowhere where they are.
Right.
Right. So many times. So you're thinking, oh, they're probably more talented than me. They have more time. They have a better niche. They have a team of people.
Right.
And I don't. Right. It's usually none of those things.
Yeah. And if you're wondering like why we're saying like who are we to say that? Right?
Maybe you are more talented.
Yeah.
Maybe you have
But
figured out how to get a 25th hour into the 8th day.
so like Christina and I are in a number of mastermind groups. Like that that's what we love about this industry, like getting together with other minds to see what people do. So we know a lot of people in our industry and are always talking about like and we share pretty transparently, right? Like about where we are. So and we'll talk a little bit about that because part of it is that you're not like you assume someone is farther ahead because of how they present or some number that you actually do get to see, but then everything else is in a different place. So part of it is that, but
Yeah.
and we know that from like our unique position of getting to see behind the scenes of so many people's businesses, and thank you to our mastermind members that share that stuff so transparently, and we're not giving like we have NDAs, we're not sharing any of the details, but that's how we have some of that information. And then we run mastermind groups where we like our help, and we have several coaching clients that we help do this. And so we hear it. Like this is how we know it's a problem. And we know what assumptions they're making. And when we look at what they're doing versus people whose numbers we happen to know who are doing very well, there are a couple of things that have popped. So
Yeah.
we've seen it and we wanted to address it because they're easy fixes.
Yeah.
Newsflash, they are easy fixes. So,
And it's just about aligning yourself properly. And to use the old adage, just working smarter, not harder. Right? Just
mhm.
making sure you're spending the time where it matters. Right? And so many times we look out at everybody else, right? We see the duck floating in the pond, right? But what you don't see are how their little feet are going like a mile a minute underneath the water. We don't
Right.
see that. So you have to take that into consideration. You also have to understand that when somebody says, oh my gosh, I'm killing it in affiliate revenue, they're killing it might mean they made $10 this week. You don't know that. You don't know what their level, unless they tell you what their level of like really killing it in something is. So
Right.
don't try to compare yourself. That's the first thing we want to get out of the way. Stop comparing yourself.
Right. Like if you're well into six figures, someone like that just got into Mediavine, for example, like that might, and that is like kudos to them. There's nothing wrong with that achievement, but they are using a different measuring stick
Yeah.
than you are now.
Yep. And that's okay.
So that's one, right? Like not really like making an assumption about what somebody's actual numbers are or their success is without having the behind the scenes data, like that's a big thing that Right? Like you don't even need to fix it. Just stop assuming that you know it. And I will say, and I'm diverging from our notes here a little bit, Christina, but some of the other things that I think that get us into this trap, it's the lack of focus. Like focus was my word last year. That was the thing. I really needed to focus on just one or two things. I am a shiny object chaser. And this is a problem I see a lot in the people that we
Yeah.
coach and the people that are in our paid mastermind groups, is that it is very hard, especially if you're at a point where you're not seeing the results you want to see, to think that you're doing the wrong thing. So you've got to like pay attention to everything that's going on because maybe that's going to be the thing, right? Like, oh, maybe I need to jump on TikTok because there are people that are successful on TikTok. The people, and we say this all the time when we've got podcast guests on, the people that are crushing it on TikTok are doing TikTok all the time.
Yeah.
That's where they put their time. The people that are crushing it on Instagram are spending 6 hours a day on Instagram. The people that do well on Facebook are spending 6 to 8 hours a day on Facebook.
Yeah.
Or like people are crushing it where they focus their time.
Hmm.
So a lot of times, if you're not having the success you want, it's because you haven't stayed focused on the one area that would grow if you
Yeah.
just gave it enough nurturing.
And that was something we covered in the Smart Influencer Summit. We did a whole session on, finding what that goal should be for you and giving you the filters you need to look through to really hone in on that, on what's going to help you, take your business to the next step.
Right.
So, I mean, it's so important. Focus and clarity were the two words that were just over and over and over again.
Right. So, oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, and that's so much easier to do when you have people in your corner kind of cheering you on, making sure you're staying on track. When you start to veer off track, they're pulling you back on the path.
Well, and this is what, like, to me, the biggest thing, and this is probably why you and I are each in so many different mastermind groups. Like, I subscribed a long time ago to the belief that you are who you surround yourself with. So I always, like, my friends are all people that I look up to, right? Like, my business partner is someone who has strengths I don't have because I want to develop them. I want to get better. And I have. I've gotten better at systems. I've gotten better at naming conventions, right? Some of the things that you bring to this partnership I don't have, right? Like I surround myself by the people that are better than me so that I will get better. So a lot of times, if you're not seeing the growth you want, like, are you wanting to be a big fish and you're swimming with a bunch of small fish every day? That
My
is
dad always
often the
said,
problem.
yeah, my dad has always said, always hire someone just as smart as you, if not smarter. And that's like something that I've always kind of had in the back of my head, is like that life lesson from dad. And it makes so much sense. You've got to surround yourself with people who are going to push you and take you to that next level. If you're always hanging out with those that are right where you're at, if you're the big fish all the time, you're never going to grow.
That doesn't mean that you cut people out of your
Oh
life.
no.
Like, oh, sorry, you stayed small. Like, you can't, like,
No.
I'm not hanging out with you anymore. But where are you spending your time? Like, are you continuing to mastermind pe with people who their biggest goal is to make $2,000 a month? There's nothing wrong with that if you want your income to be $2,000 a month.
Yeah.
You want your income to be $10,000 a month, that's who you should be hanging out with. If not people that are at $10,000 a month, but people whose goal it is to be at
Yeah.
$10,000 a month.
When my husband and my son raced BMX, the one lesson we gave to my son was always like, you don't always want to be the one winning the race. If you're in the
Right.
group where you're always coming in first, you are in the wrong group. You have grown out of that class. You need to be in the class where you're starting to lose, because that is what's going to push you. Faster riders are going to make you a faster rider.
That's a
So
great analogy.
yeah, pushing yourself to be fast. They're the ones that are going to push you
Right.
and challenge you to really get outside that comfort zone.
Well, and I'm glad that you said that because that is a big piece of it. And this is, again, why we personally like mastermind groups. And we say this to our friends all the time. Like, please tell me what I'm doing wrong because I would rather hear it from my friends.
Yeah,
So, no matter how smart you think you are, like we tend to, on our better days, we will tell you that we think we're pretty intelligent people. We
as are
kind of know
you.
what we're doing, right? Um, for as much as that is true, I also only have one set of eyeballs. Right. Like I also bring whatever my past is with me to every single thing that I do. So no matter how open-minded I'm trying to be, no matter how intelligent I think that I am, I only see it from my perspective.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of other perspectives.
Yeah.
So getting someone else's reach, and this is probably like it. it really hit us in, I think, in some of the mastermind groups where we were coaching the people that were like developing products, and so like such smart people. They knew their data, they knew their audience, they knew their branding, they knew their voice. But then developing products that, like, if you put it in front of the right person, someone could easily tell you that's not going to sell. Like, no one's going to be searching for that. But they're looking at their data. Like, it is sometimes we get so in the weeds of what we're doing, you cannot see like one obvious thing that
Yeah.
anyone else looking at it can. So, like, we're drumming this pretty hard, but if you are not growing as fast as you want to, it's because you are doing it by yourself.
Yeah. Or, not accepting the challenge that was put in front of you, right? Because sometimes it's uncomfortable to do things we're not comfortable with, right? And it
Right.
doesn't feel right and it doesn't seem right in the moment. But when you look back on it, a little ways down the road, you're going to see like maybe that was the little nudge that I needed and got me out of that comfort zone.
Right.
And if you, what do they say? Like if you always give what you've always given, you'll always get what you've always gotten, or something along
Right.
those lines. Like, you need to kind of step out of that. So that's your tough love from us today.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a couple quotes kicking around. Like, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others, right? Like, that speaks to this. I've got Rachel in my mind too from the summit about how, like, your biggest achievements are on the other side of your greatest discomfort.
Yeah,
You have to get uncomfortable because being comfortable is where you are.
right.
So, if you want to grow, you have to get uncomfortable.
I mean, we were uncomfortable doing the summit. We're like, just like, should we do it?
Yeah,
Like, and the problem is we're both enablers. We both
we are.
we both enable each other. That is a blessing and a curse all wrapped up into one.
It is.
But sometimes just saying, ah, hell with it. Let's just do it and try it. And if we fail, we fail. If we succeed, awesome. But you have to try it.
And then here's the other thing with this too, and I guess it is discomfort because I think there is an assumption that we hang out with the people that are at our level because that's who is willing to hang out with us, right? Like, oh, someone that's way ahead of me isn't going to want to have me in their group. And that is not true. Like, some of our best mastermind members have been people that are newer in this tree, but they are hungry.
Right.
Like, they are hungry and they've got new ideas. They see things from a completely different
Yep.
perspective because they didn't go through like some of the rough times. Like,
Yep.
they don't even know what we're talking about when we're like Facebook took a nosedive. Or they're like Facebook was never a thing when I came in, right? Like, things like that.
Yeah.
They see things because they've got a different perspective. And you have that perspective for someone that's two steps ahead of you. And I'm going to come back to it. It never hurts to ask. It never hurts to ask. The worst anyone can ever say to you is, yeah, no. Like you said, they can't take away your birthday.
Yeah.
People can't harm you with words if you don't let them.
The worst they can say is no, and that word doesn't really hurt,
It
right?
really
If I tell
doesn't.
you no,
Right.
it is what it is. Okay, we move on.
So, like, last fall, I joined a mastermind that was, I did not realize how far over my head I was until we were in the first meeting, and several of them were talking about how they were going to this conference that the criteria to go was that you had to be making $10 million or more. Newsflash, listeners, that's not the revenue level I'm at just yet.
So close.
I was like, how did I get in here? And it was so enlightening to be with people that think on a whole different
Yeah.
scale than I do. And I got over myself, like, and they were wonderful. They were so wonderful. Like, I can't speak for them, right? Like, what their value was to have me there. But sometimes when you've hit a certain level of success, like, and we say we love to mentor people. Like, I love to help others because it's really cool to see people that are just a step or two behind
Mhm.
take that step or two forward. Like, it's a really cool thing. So, yes, put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to reach out to the people that are a step or two ahead,
Yeah.
because they're the ones you have, the most to learn from. The
And
worst
be
they can say
open
is
to the
no.
accountability, right? Be open to that. Be open to those hard nudges and just keep an open mind about it. If somebody's like trying to point you in a slightly different direction than when you're where you're headed. I mean, you still have to put your brain into it, but
Right.
I mean, don't be afraid to do that and to take the risk.
And to look for the people that have the skill that you need. Like Christina and I have, for most of the time we've known each other, been working with different business coaches. We started, like, at one point we had the same business coach independently, and then we merged and we did our coaching sessions together.
Yeah.
We did a paid mastermind together. You had a blog coach last year. I started with a business coach at the end of the year who I'm still with because she is where I want to be.
Yeah.
So I like, and I'm willing to invest in my business. It
Yeah.
is money well spent. So,
Yeah. So looking at that, finding that person who, I want to be that when I grow up. Like that's kind of how I look at it. Like that is what I want to be like when I grow up. And, I did this once early on in my business and let me just tell you how many, it took so much guts to do it. I looked at this blogger who I thought was way bigger than me. And I reached out and I'm like, would you be open to coaching me one on one? Like it's not something she offered
right.
or whatever. And she didn't get back to me right away. So of course, if I don't get the email like instantly, it's like,
Right.
oh
Like
no, she
she
hates
hates
me. She
me.
never
She's
wants.
bad mouthing me to the
Yeah,
world.
she thinks I'm stupid. Like all that stuff came into my brain. I'm not gonna lie. Um, but I think it just took her a minute to think about how she was going to respond. And she's like, you know what? I think I will. She goes, it's something I've always wanted to do. And, I'd be happy to help. And I'm like, oh my, I said, I will do whatever you tell me to do. Just tell me what you want me to do. I'll do whatever you want me to do.
Yeah.
Right. And I went into it with the most open mind. And I remember preparing for our first meeting and like just getting myself in that learning mindset. And I'm going to absorb every single thing she has to say. And it was such an eye-opening experience for me, but don't be afraid to ask people.
Right.
Don't be afraid. And there are plenty of opportunities out there. And I have found the best experiences are the ones that I've had to put up, before I'm going to shut up. So, like a paid group that I have skin in the game for because a lot of times if we're just in volunteer things, it's so easy to say, oh, I'm going to go do this instead, or this is
Right.
taking priority. I'm so busy. I don't have time. But you know that if you're paying for something, you are in it
Right.
and you want to get your money's worth out of it. So I have found
Well,
that my most rewarding experience has been those.
and the other reason I like a paid experience is like then you have some level of expertise. Like whoever it is you're paying is bringing something. So because we're both in a different we're in different groups for it, but they're both for the same thing. And I think your group might have some higher level people, but I am in a group with a lot of beginners. Like we all wanted to do it because we all wanted to learn it, but nobody knows it. So we aren't getting any new information. Now,
Yeah.
I will say the thing that's very cool about it is we can now crowdsource the work, right? Like since it's a new area. So let's say you all wanted to experiment, like you wanted a digital product group. Everybody could try a different type of digital product or a
Mhm.
different platform, and now you get all that data only having to do one
A
fifth,
portion.
sixth, seventh, or eighth of the work, right? Like how many people are in the group.
Mhm.
So it's great for that. You can test a lot of things more quickly. But a paid group typically will get you some sort of expert in that area. So if you want that, so you're getting some guidance on top of it, and it's cheaper than getting like one-on-one coaching. So I
Mhm.
love a paid mastermind group as long as it's well designed. We did one where I don't know that I love the design, but we'll just say that.
And I
I
think
don't
just
know that.
like everything else we do, we look at our experiences and we say, what would make the best, like what is the product we would have
Right,
purchased? Like our dream product. We did it with the summit and we did it a little different than most traditional conferences. And we do it with our group coaching. We looked at all these things that we've been in before and took the bits and pieces that were awesome and the bits and pieces that nobody has included and kind of built them into our own. And I think that's just the way we work. We always
right,
look to build the product that we would like. But
right,
one thing I have learned in my 16 years of this job is that DIY can only take you so far. Like
right,
cobbling together things on your own, the duct tape and bubblegum system is great to a certain point, right? There are times when it breaks down, right? You don't get the feedback. You don't get the accountability, which I think is for me, it's the biggest part. I am like you, I can chase a
right.
squirrel all over town. Shiny object syndrome, that is me. I'm so easily sucked into that. But having somebody to pull you back and to make you stay on track and stay on the course.
Right. The focus. Yeah. Staying on focus. And the focus and the other thing we talk about is the doing, right? Like
Right.
as creators, we're great at ideation.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
great at having conversations and coming up with AI and coming up with new strategies. We can make a great plan, a great content
Oh, it's
plan,
so
a great
good.
social media plan. So where most of us start to see that we're not making the progress is the implementation. The doing is
The
hard.
execution.
Hmm.
Execution is where it's at. And I think so many of us fall short there. We love to plan and organize, but
Right.
it's the actual doing of the thing. And that's where a group comes into play because I am I I play very well into that. If I have homework to do, guarantee you I am doing it 10 minutes before I'm logging into that Zoom, but I'm getting it done.
Right. How many times have we said that or showed up like I did my goal, but only because we had the call. I just
Yeah.
finished it, 10 minutes ago.
It doesn't matter if you're, like you have to hang up from the call and then go do what you said you were going to do the week before. If you're
Right.
that person, great. If you're more like me and you're waiting till the 25th hour and you're just getting it done, it doesn't matter. You got it done.
Right.
And that's
Right.
what's important.
It
And just
is.
having a group like that where you can feel open and vulnerable and not judged, that you can, be able to say, hey, I don't really understand. Like, what number should I be looking at? Like,
Right.
not being afraid to say that, I think, is also one of the most helpful things. So DIY can only take you so far.
Right. So if you are thinking, I'm not growing as fast as someone else, or I'm not growing as fast as I want, right? Like, it probably is that you're DIYing. And so, like, the solution, and we've talked all around it, but we're going to boil it down pretty simply. One, it's focus, right? Like, you need to pick your focus. Like, I guarantee that is probably the single-handed the one reason because you are chasing too many things at once. And I say this as a squirrel chaser. Once I fixed that, I really fixed a lot of problems in my
Yeah.
business. That you don't have a strong feedback loop, or the one that you're using is incorrect,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like that is, and again, like that's what the focus. Like if you're only focused on one thing, you are watching that feedback loop very tightly.
Mm-hmm.
And that can come from other people. We only have our perspective. The accountability for me is huge.
Yeah.
Like that is huge. I need the accountability. Some people don't need that, and God bless you, people. God bless you, right? Like you've got the personality type where you're accountable to yourself. That's not me.
No,
So I'm
I
not
don't.
necessarily a people pleaser either, but I need someone checking up on me to make sure that I do it. And like having like even if it's AI, like I have a regular report that like checks in with me each day and tells me what to prioritize, and then checks in with me at the end of the day to make sure that I did what I said I was going to do. I have found that the people, like having a human ask me is more effective for me. But
Yeah.
if you only need a little nudge, you can have that with calendar reminders or AI or however you want to do that.
But can I just circle back to feedback real quick?
Yes.
I also don't want to be in a group where everybody's telling me how awesome I am. And I feel like that a lot with AI. They are great
Yes.
at telling me how awesome my idea is. I don't want to hear that. I would much rather have you play devil's advocate, punch holes in whatever you call it. I want you to point out all the ways that it could go wrong. And I'm not doing it from a negative perspective. I want to be able to fix it before it breaks. So tell me where I could be going wrong and how I can strengthen it. I'm a big girl. I've got thick skin. I say that on the outside,
I know.
but really I'm going to internalize it. But I work through it. I internalize it, but I need to know that. Like I don't just want to hear how awesome. So if you're surrounded by people who are telling you all the time just how awesome you are awesome. But maybe you just need
Right.
somebody to say, why don't you try doing this instead? Or
Right.
challenge you.
And have that group. We've talked about this too before. Like I have different accountability partners for different things. I have a cheerleader,
Hmm.
right? Like I have the person that when I'm feeling like, oh, I didn't do well in that, or I don't know what I'm doing, that's the person I go to. That's like, okay, you're wonderful, you're awesome. Like, they pick me back up. I also have a friend that I do not go, I have to tell her explicitly that I need cheerleader mode in order for her to activate it
Is
because
that me?
yeah,
Is that me?
it's not you, it's
Okay.
Susan actually. We've had this discussion, like, because Susan, if I send her something, Susan immediately starts to poke the holes in it. She immediately starts editing something if I give it to her. So I have to tell her, I just finished this. I'm not ready to edit. I just need you to tell me that it's great or it's not, right? Like just that. Not every single thing that's wrong with it. That's a different conversation.
Yeah.
So you can have different, like, so you don't
Yeah.
have to get rid of your cheerleaders, but they're not also like, they're great for one use case. You need the other people too. You need the other groups.
Yeah. So I think the big thing I'm taking away from this is you have to get out of that comfort zone. And I think that's where the real growth happens. And probably when you see people growing faster than you, it's they've gotten into that, like where
Hmm.
they're not afraid to be uncomfortable and they're going after the big scary goal,
Right.
and just somebody has helped them and pointed them in the direction, and is maybe holding their hand along the way and making sure they don't get off that path.
Right. Yeah, that's it. Like focus is so much part of it. We have it like, hold on, it's in our notes. Speed comes from doing fewer things, but doing the right ones consistently.
Yeah.
100% that is
Yeah.
true.
Not doing everything,
Hmm.
doing the right thing.
Yeah,
And sometimes we can't see that for ourselves. It's so hard because in our mind, everything is the right thing.
right.
But knowing and having those filters in place with how you can boil down what is the right thing to be focusing on, so super helpful.
I agree.
So, yeah. So I think a lot of times bloggers can get and stay stuck because they stay in that learning mode too long, right? It's so comfortable I love to learn.
I do
I am
too.
just like I could be a professional student, I think. I love to learn. I love to take
Me too.
courses. It's so easy to do all that. Um
Well, and I
trying
love to start a new thing. Like starting stuff is super fun, right? Like or plan making that plan, super fun. I
Yeah.
do love that. So listeners, if you are sitting there and you know that you've got like if some of the problems you have, you've got a ton of ideas, but none of them are executed, or you've got half-built systems, like Christina and I are great at this too. We love to start a project. Like we've got so many things built for you guys that are half built. So, but
We
like if
should
you're
we should have a
sitting
clearance sale on our half built products.
seriously, yeah. Fire sale. It's half built. Or if you find that you're constantly second guessing, like this was a big switch for me last year. If you are constantly second guessing whether you're on the right thing, you have not actually focused. You haven't picked your thing. Because once you pick it, like once I decided last year, memberships and digital products, that's all I'm focused on, it it's peaceful. Like it does, it gives you so much peace. So
Mhm.
if that is you, if you are in that stage, then you're not in the like we'll just be frank. You're not in the right mindset.
Right.
So a couple of things that you can do. Figure out what you're going to focus on. If you can't do that, I think you would benefit from sitting down with either an accountability or probably a coach, someone that's
Yeah.
a step ahead of you that could look at where your situation is and help you fine tune that. And then an accountability group or a mastermind group to help move you forward and make sure you stay focused on that thing once it's been identified.
Yeah. So if you're staying in that learning mode too long, if you're trying to piece together all the free advice that's out there, if you've avoided committing to a certain like to a single path and you're just trying to do all the things, these are your signs that you need this.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are your signs. Yeah. And these are exactly the reasons why we built our Smart Accelerator program, which is our group coaching program, because we saw that so many bloggers were doing all the right things, but still not seeing results. So we're able to help them stay on that track and filter through the noise.
And like the summit, it was built based on a bad mastermind experience we had, where like we paid a lot of money for this. What would have made it better?
Yeah.
And that's how we built
Yeah.
ours.
There you go. So to bring this all full circle, right? We've learned those that are growing the fastest aren't necessarily the most talented. They're not smarter than you, they're not better than you in any way. They're the ones who really stopped trying to do it alone and realized when they needed help and they weren't afraid to go get it.
Right. So if you want the secret sauce, that's it. Figure out what to focus on and figure out how to focus on it. And in our opinion, it's typically surrounding yourself with the right people.
Yep.
That's the secret sauce.
And mic drop, we're out. That's it. That's the secret sauce right there. But I hope you found that helpful. I hope it gets you thinking and challenged you a little bit to be uncomfortable in your thinking. And if you were silently saying, but afraid to say it out loud, yeah, that might be me. If you said that might be me, it probably is you. And if you're out there going, yep, that's me, like as I would do, both hands up, waving them in the back for everybody to see, that's me. Think about the ways that we talked about that you can make it work for you and
And if
find the
you
right
want us to help you with that, by all means, hit us up. You
yeah,
can email us hello@thesmartinfluencer.com, DM us at
yeah,
the Smart Influencer, pretty much anywhere that we are actually active on social.
yeah,
You can go to thesmartinfluencer.com and check out our products and services there. Honestly, like the two things that probably help you the most, if these are your issues, are either one-on-one coaching calls so that you can help get the focus, or one of the accelerator groups where like we'll actually like pick the focus and you're in a group coaching program and you've got that built-in accountability.
yep.
Or build your own. We've got several different podcast episodes too on masterminds and finding your
Yeah,
people.
that
So
was really cool at the summit too, to see everybody forming their own little
it was.
groups to follow up with each other. Like one,
That was probably my favorite part,
I know,
honestly.
all right? And people that came up to me, they're like, "Would you be an accountability group with me?" And I think I'm in, like, I think I committed to like one or two of them. But it was just so exciting. So thank you so much for spending time with us today. Make sure you do reach out to us if you need any help with that, and make sure that you leave a rating and a review for our show on your favorite podcast player, because that just helps our show get into get to more listeners so that we can bring you awesome content every week.
Thanks for listening.
See you next time.
If today's episode gave you clarity, direction, or even just one solid aha moment, that's your cue to take action.
Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss what's coming next. And if you found this helpful, please share it with a creator friend who needs to hear it. Smart creators build in communities.
And if you're ready to go deeper, whether that's through our mastermind, live events, or free resources, head to thesmartinfluencer.com and get on our list.
That's where we share the strategies, tools, and behind the scenes insights we don't always talk about on the podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Now go build something smarter.